up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie and I have a special guest with me. Oh my god.
I started over.
No, I'm keeping that.
No.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie and I am here to do something a little different throughout the year, but I asked for some help, so I brought Justin, the crowd favorite. Everyone's been asking where you've been.
On the golf course.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for my TBR for 2024, I plan on reading 12 books that Justin's going to pick out, but I'm not going to know what the book is or what month it's going to come out. So I'm going to ask him to pick 12 books. We're going to wrap them up. He's going to label them January through December, and then for each TBR video throughout the year, I will unwrap it. It'll be a surprise for everyone, and maybe I might do a special reading vlog for that book. So are you nervous?
I'm nervous, just I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so there are some rules. I showed him, like, these are my romance books I haven't read. These are all of my thrillers I haven't read. Everything else below is off limits. There are a few books with some pink sticky tabs. Those are like second book in a series, or I have like a special reading vlog or a project. So those are off limits, but he's gonna pick 12 books. I'm gonna leave the room. Don't do anything stupid. All right, good luck.
Stay with what she likes. She does not like romance, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're halfway there. Halfway there. Phenomenal. Ba-ba-da. A couple. Okay. 11. It's going to be number 12.
Alrighty. How do you feel? Do you think I'm going to read these?
You can read several of them.
I will obviously know which books these are. I'm just not going to know which order I'm going to read them in, because let's be real, Justin doesn't know how to wrap presents, and I have to edit this video. But yeah, so you picked 12?
12 books.
Okay. So I'm going to wrap the presents, and then obviously I'll be editing it, so you will all know, I will know, and then I will have him label each package January through December. So thank you so much, sweetie. Justin has picked the gifts. They're all wrapped. I had to do the wrapping, so I obviously know which books he picked. But I shuffled them up, gave it to him. He wrote January all the way to December. And so yeah, I have no idea what book I'm going to be reading. So I'm going to save the unwrapping of January till the end, but let's talk about the books I want to read for the month of January and why. Okay, obviously we have to talk about the Sleep When I'm Dead book club pick. If you didn't know, I have my own book club here on my YouTube channel and over on Discord called Sleep When I'm Dead, where we read new release thrillers with some co-hosts. And a new thing that I wanted to do for 2024 is to have more than one co-host each month. So I'm going to have Books with Lexi and Ashley's Little Library here on my channel in January. I'm going to leave the date right here because I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but also make sure you check out the Discord link so you can check out all the information down there. But we are going to be reading Good Girls Don't Die by Christina Henry, which I'm very excited. I've only read one other Christina Henry book, and it's Near the Bone, and I absolutely love this. I believe I gave it 4, maybe a 5-star. It was probably a 4.5 when I did half-star ratings, but I absolutely loved this one. So I'm really excited to read her newest release. Okay, I got a phone call, so I had to take it. It was very urgent, but let me tell you about what Good Girls Don't Die is about. This one is about Celia, who wakes up in a house she doesn't recognize. There is a little girl claiming to be her daughter and a man claiming to be her husband. But it says, but Celia knows this family and this life is not hers. Then you have Allie, who's supposed to be on a fun getaway, and then her friend's boyfriend unexpectedly drives the group to a remote cabin in the woods. No one else believes Allie, but she is sure that something about this trip is very, very wrong. Then you have Maggie, who just wants to be home with her daughter and is in a dangerous situation and doesn't know who put her there or why. She'll have to fight with everything she has to survive. So 3 women, 3 stories, only one way out. This captivating novel will keep readers guessing until the very end. So I think this is going to be a really good one. It seems to be super short, so I'm very excited to read this one. So make sure you pick up a copy from your library or Amazon. I'm going to leave the links down below for Discord so you can check out all the fun over there. All right, next I have a classic, which is none of this is true. Next, I have a classic. It is Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. My friend Gwen, which you should all know who Gwen is, but she has a podcast called Talk Bookish to Me, and she also has a Patreon for her podcast. And in the month of January, we are doing the And Then There Were None reading challenge, and so it's a lot of fun. I'm participating, and I'm very excited because it's gonna be interesting. But one of the activities is we are going to read And Then There Were None, and I've never read anything by Agatha Christie, and I am nervous because, one, it's an older book. Number 2, it's got the clue and then there were none trope, obviously, which is not typically my favorite, but I would like to try to read the original book, and it seems to be super short. So I got my copy from my library. I'm gonna also leave links to Gwen's Patreon, so that way if you want to join the Night Owls, it's so much fun. We have movie nights and game nights, and it's just a lot of fun. Like, I highly recommend you check out and become a night owl. Okay, probably my most anticipated release was actually a book of the month pick last month, so I do plan on reading it this month, and it is No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall. I read her adult debut last year, actually last January, and it was quickly one of my favorite thrillers of the year, and I just absolutely loved it. So I'm very excited to read her next adult debut, and I forgot what this one's about, so bear with me. This one says, 3 sisters, 2 murders, and too many secrets to count. 14 years ago, the Palmer sisters, Emma, Juliet, and Daphne, left their home in Arden Hills and never returned. But when Emma discovers she's pregnant and her husband loses his job, she has no option but to return to the house that she and her estranged sisters still own, and where her parents were murdered. That's all I'm gonna read. I'm so freaking excited. I'm not like a huge fan of like sister drama, so hopefully that's not too much, but I just cannot wait to read this one. Okay, to kind of break up the thrillers a little bit, I do have a romance on here. This was actually on my December TBR, but it's not technically a Christmas romance. It's just a winter romance, and it is A Season for Second Chances by Jenny Bayless. I know my friend Gwen read this one and loved it, so I'm very excited. This one just says, a charmingly quirky seaside town offers a recently separated woman a fresh start and possibly a new lease on love. So I believe it's 2 individuals who are going to this like seaside town, and they probably double booked the place, and I think they kind of have to share the home together, I'm assuming. I do know this has to do with like more personal growth and romance, but also I know the character is a little bit older, so I do appreciate that a lot. So I'm very excited to read this one because I know Gwen raved about this one. Okay, going into probably what is going to be my first book of 2024, and it is The Engagement Party by Darby Kane. I've tried to read Darby Kane's Pretty Little Wife a little over like 5 times, and I just never could get into it. But this one sounds really good, and it has that "and then there were none" trope. So I'm really, oh my god. All right, another phone call that interrupted me filming again. Let's try to get through the last set of books without any interruptions. All right, starting over, I have Darby Kane's The Engagement Party. This one is a new release. I think it came out in November or October. And I've tried to read Darby Kane's Pretty Little Wife so many times, and I just never could get into it. I'm not sure why, but I am interested in this one, even though it has a trope I typically don't like, which is the "and then there were none," but I'm trying to turn that around, okay? This one says, Emily Hunt went missing from her liberal arts college on graduation weekend. Her body was found floating in a river. Across campus, a quiet loner died by suicide. A link, one text, bound these 2 dead students together and was enough for law enforcement to close the case. But they got it wrong, and now someone is determined to set it right. 20 years later, college friends gather to celebrate an engagement with a long overdue getaway at a swanky private island in Maine. With only one way in and one way out, Sierra Prescott, invited as a guest and unconnected to the past events, is the only person who senses not all is what it seems. I think this is going to be my first read of 2024, so I'm very excited. This one is going to be very interesting. It is Murder in the Family. This one says, "One body, 6 experts. Can you solve the case before you?" I saw this on TikTok, and people were saying like you're actually trying to solve a murder case in the story, and it's got multimedia, like it's got like scripts and things like that. It's got like websites and like newspaper articles. It does have an audiobook, which I'm pumped about. I really hope it's a fully like produced audiobook, because I feel like that's just going to make this book go to like the next level. So like I said, this one says, "One body, 6 experts. Can you solve the case before they do?" And it also says, "No one saw the killer, but they all saw the body." So we'll see if I can solve the case. I'll let you guys know. All right, this one I bought when I went on my girls trip last April, and I think this month is going to be the perfect month to read this one. It is Dead by Dawn by Paul Diorian, I believe is how you say the name. I've read something by this author before, and I really enjoyed it back when I first got into thrillers. This one says, Mike is fighting for his life. After being ambushed on a dark winter road, Mike crashes his Jeep into a frozen river. Trapped beneath the ice in the middle of nowhere, having lost his gun and any way to signal for help, Mike fights his way to the surface. But surviving the crash is only the first challenge. Whoever set the trap that ran him off the road is still out there, and they're coming for him. That's all I know, and that's all I think I should know going into this one. So it's kind of giving me like No Exit vibes in a way, like that wintry, isolated, no way out, people out to get you. So I'm very excited to read this one. And lastly, I have this one. This was actually my Christmas book to myself. The book that I'm talking about is The Overnight Guest. I've been seeing this one going around for the past couple of years, and I've been really interested to read this one. And again, I think like a winter setting is like the perfect time right now. So I believe this one is about a true crime writer who doesn't mind getting snowed in at the isolated farmhouse where she's retreating to write her next book. A cozy fire, complete silence, it would be perfect if not for the fact that decades earlier at the very same house, 2 people were murdered in cold blood and a girl disappeared without a trace. So I love the isolated setting vibes. All right, those are all the books that I know I'm going to read. Let's go ahead and unveil the book that I will be reading thanks to Justin. So that is his handwriting, January. So let's see what he picked out for me. I'm nervous. Okay. I'm gonna try to just unwrap it without looking at it. Ooh, I wrapped this one really good. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is good because I have a lot of thrillers, but it is The Girl I Was by Geneva Rose. So very excited to read this one. I know this was pitched as like a 13 going on 30 kind of retelling. So it says Alex Spencer is never too far away from another inspirational quote to rationalize her failures and ignoring all her problems. Her boyfriend breaks it off. She loses her job. Her closest friends are a distant memory, and her college debt is at an all-time high. In typical fashion, she blames the world for her problems, including her 18-year-old self, who should have just tried harder and put her life on a better track. After feeling sorry for herself, Alexis goes on a bender to forget her problems and ends up blacking out. Only this time she doesn't wake up at home. She isn't even in the right city. In fact, she isn't even in the right year. Alex is back in her college town in the year 2002 and thinks she's given a second chance to do things over. That is until she comes face to face with her 18-year-old unruly self, who goes by the name of Lexi because it's sexier. Getting acclimated to life in the early 2000s is the easy part. Dealing with Lexi is where things prove difficult. First, Alex must convince her that she is in fact from the future. Then she has to persuade Lexi to let her live in her dorm room. Finally, they must learn to get along and come to terms with the fact that alone they will never make things right, but together they could change their life for the better. So glad to have this one to kind of break up all of the thrillers, and that way, I don't know, I'm very excited. I've been wanting to read this one for quite some time, and it's Geneva Rose, like, obviously. Alright guys, those are all the books I plan on reading for the month of January. Thank you so much for watching. And also, I just hit 3K like probably 5 minutes ago, I noticed. So I am planning on doing a 5K Q&A. So if you have any questions that you want to ask me for that Q&A, make sure you drop them down below. And thank you guys so much for being here. And I'm very excited for 2024. And let's make this the best year we have. Okay, bye guys.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling.